we have a problem. Actually, when I say we, I mean kind of the royal we. It's actually I have a problem, and that is that I need to buy a car. The thing is, last time I went back to the UK, it turned out that I had no car to drive. I've got a few nice cars over here, as you know from the channel already, but back in London, I ended up selling all my cars, and so now I'm reliant on my kids and their cars. And what I realised when I was back in London is I wasn't really enjoying the cars anymore. We've got a 330D, BMW 330D, and a Mini, and both are okay, but they're not great on long journeys. So I need to buy a car in the UK, and I need to buy something for when I'm there, and that basically means I have to buy something while I'm here, so it's there when I get there, if that makes sense. So if you're familiar with the channel, I'm in a car right now which you're not familiar with, and I will be doing a full reveal of this car, and if you think you know what it is, you're wrong. I guarantee you that. So watch out for this one, do subscribe, and then you'll get to see the release video of this car. Anyhow, so what I need in the UK is I need something that I can use with myself, my family, something that's big enough. So something like a two-seater Ferrari is not going to do it. It's also going to be out of my budget. I'm trying to be sensible. I've got too much money invested in cars at the moment, or spent on cars. Let's say it's not an investment, but it's more of a spend. So I need something that will fit 4 adults in at least. Ideally a 4-door car, maybe a 5-door SUV style, but I don't really want to get another SUV. I mean, the kind of thing that comes to mind is a Cayenne Turbo, and I've had 2 or 3 Cayenne Turbos, I've had a Cayenne GTS, so I want to kind of steer away from that. But I need something that's interesting for not a lot of money, and fuel consumption is not so much of an issue because I'm not going to be driving it that much. It's only going to be driven when I'm back in the UK, which is, you know, a few weeks here, a few weeks there, so it's not going to be a daily driver as such. But I do want to be able to enjoy the drive when I am over there. So the hunt begins, and that's what this video is all about. We're going to be hunting for a new car, and spoiler alert, we find one by the end. So when I started thinking about what sort of car I wanted, there is some things that I needed to make sure that the car could do for me. So it needed to be big enough to hold 4 adults, ideally 5. You know, so I didn't really want it to be sort of a 2+2 because the back seats just wouldn't work for me. It needed to be 4-door or 5-door, and so started looking around based on that. And I kind of thought about what I've had previously. This was one of the cars that came to mind, something like an M3. I've had a M3 previous. Oh, sorry, I've had an M5 previously, so I thought an M3 that would be quite nice. And I've always liked this particular model because it's got the V8 engine. I think they're really good looking cars. I mean, from the back it looks really, really good. Front as well. But overall, it's a nice looking car. And I thought, well, it's not massive, so it is something that could get used regularly. You know, interior still looks good. Don't really like that floor mat, but you know, this wasn't the particular car that I was looking for or looking at. But you know, I looked at this and I thought, well, it's not bad. You know, the back seats did kind of concern me a little bit. I thought it might not be big enough for long road trips with 4 adults in the car. So you know, is this really going to be the right sort of car for me? But you know, one thing I did like was the engine. It's got the V8 engine, and as you know now, BMW have moved the M series to turbocharged engine, no more V8. So I thought, well, you know, this may well be an option. But the thing that did put me off was the price. I mean, 25 grand. The minimum I saw one for was about 20 grand. So 20 to 30 grand is really what you need to be spending. And I thought, I don't really want to be spending as much as that. So I kind of wrote off that car, and I sort of started thinking about what else might be suitable. The M5 came to mind. Now, I've previously had a E34 M5, and I thought to myself, well, that might be a good option because I really enjoyed that car. It's naturally aspirated. It's such a raw car, and I bid on this one, as you can see, and I was outbid. In hindsight, I should have gone higher because this car is a great car. I mean, this one, it sold for just over 15, as you saw, plus the buyer's fees. But it's a really nice color. The thing that I didn't like was the grille. It's got the wider grille, it's the facelift model, and I prefer it with a narrow grille. I think it looks much better. And so that was one of the things. But the reason why I say this was a real bargain is because this one came with the 3.8 litre engine, normally the 3.6 litres, so it's a slightly bigger engine, a bit more power, but also it had the 6-speed gearbox, whereas normally they come with a 5-speed, and that's a rare combination to get the 3.8 with the 6-speed. Even a lot of the 3.8s come with 5-speed gearboxes, and I didn't realize at the time that it's a rare option. It's a lovely color. It needed a little bit of bodywork doing to it, but overall it was good. And then when I read the details as well, there were things on this car which really were impressive. So the previous owner, he had had it since 2001. 3 former keepers, so 4 in total. So really was a good deal. I should have bid higher on that, but I don't know. At the time, I just thought, not really, don't really want to. Then I started looking at other cars, and actually there was another E34 for sale by a guy in London. Started talking to him, and that car was up for 20 grand. And we were talking about it, and he was open to a little bit of offers. That car, within a few days of me talking to him, sold. But then in talking to him, I found out actually he's a big M fan, and he had another M5 for sale, a E39. So I thought to myself, okay, that could potentially be good. I mean, the E39 is a really well-respected M5, one of the greatest, and I thought, well, this could potentially work for me. And it was in a color that I really liked as well, so it would potentially work. It was a little bit of money, a little bit more money than I wanted to do, but he was willing to do me a deal on the car as well. It was a non-sunroof version, which I did want because it means less wind noise on the motorway, and it's the manual gearbox. So the more I thought about the manual gearbox, I thought it will work for me, but it might not work for my wife because I want something that she can just jump into as well. When we're back in London, she can drive this at any time. And I thought, she can drive a manual, there's no issue with that, but will she want to drive a manual? And I thought probably not on a day-to-day basis. So I ended up passing on this car, and I kept looking. Then in the end, what I then did was I kept looking, and I came across this car, which is an E60 M5. And most of you will say run a mile, and I almost did, because the more I researched into the E60, the more I realized that these are problematic cars, or at least it seemed that way. So I started looking into this car, and 15 grand, I thought, that's not bad. That's a pretty decent price. So maybe it might be worth a punt. The interior, I thought, well, it's quite light. I'm not really too sure about that. But then I thought maybe I could live with that. I wasn't a huge fan of the exterior, to be honest with you, the color of it. I thought it looks really light, and it's like silver. I prefer blue, and it doesn't really come across in the pictures, but it is more of a blue than a silver. So I thought, well, this particular car, when we look at the details, it's 15 grand. So it's in good money. It's done 87,000 miles. So decent mileage. It's got history. It's got full history. And in the last 7 or so years, it's done hardly any miles. So in 2018, it was 85,000 miles. It's now 87,000 miles, 88,000 miles. That's nothing in this period of time. And it's had the rod bearings done, it's had the cotton rod bolts done, and the oil pump main pipe. I think that's part of the Vanos, if I'm not mistaken. So, it's had a fair bit done on the car, which I thought, great. That's obviously going to suit me well. So I thought this is a real option. But the more I looked into these cars, the more it seemed that they were really problematic. And everything that I was reading was saying, run a mile. It's a 15 grand car. It's 15 grand for a reason. And, it's worth avoiding.
And then to top things off, the garage themselves, Smith & Clark, who were selling the car, they had uploaded a video to YouTube themselves where they're talking about the problems that they're having with this very car, and how it was having oil pressure problems and all sorts of things like that. So this was a real problem that was going on with this car that they were selling, and they were being very honest and open about it. They had actually resolved it, but it hadn't been tested fully. I mean, they had tested it, but it hadn't been stress tested. So was there still a problem there with the car itself? That was something that I didn't know. So I thought to myself, this dealer themselves have had this issue with this car, where it's cost them thousands. I mean, that's the title of their video, where it's cost them thousands. I thought to myself, I should really run away from this car. But if you know me, and you know the type of cars that I buy, if it has a story to it and it has issues, that's kind of a little bit more attractive to me than it would be to most people. So foolish me decided to inquire, and I was out of the country, so I had my son go down and see the car and speak to him. And I was really expecting my son to come back and just say, you know what, Dad, this is it's a dog, don't buy the car, it sounds awful and things like that. And he calls me from there and he says, this sounds okay. It actually sounds like it's pretty decent, sounds healthy, it's a decent car, it's in good condition, blah, blah, blah. And I knew at 15 grand it was not going to stick around. There was just no chance, because at that price, it is the cheapest BMW E60 M5 for sale in the UK, especially given the fact that it's decent mileage and looks to be accident free, HPI clear, all of that sort of stuff. So I thought I need to make a quick decision. So without even seeing the car, I decided to buy it. And so I bought the car completely sight unseen, without seeing it, without driving it, just on the word of my son and the dealer that was selling the car. And the video itself that they had uploaded went viral because it was this hugely problematic car, which they were able to actually fix as well. So it turned out it was an oil pressure sensor which needed to be changed in order to do it, and we'll talk more about that in the next video. But the problem that the car had was resolved, although it could be argued it wasn't fully tested. Being fixed, and it was standing in the showroom, and so the only real way to know whether it had been resolved or not was to drive the car. But obviously that was going to be down to me to do. So there was risks involved. There were a couple of other issues as well, but I decided to buy it. I paid 15 grand, which I think is a really good deal. I think it's a really good deal for a non-accident car with low mileage. But what do you think? I mean, do you think that this is a good deal? Do you think I should have avoided it? I've read so many mixed reviews and watched so many videos on the M5 E60 that I'm just not really sure anymore. So what do you think, guys? Would you have bought the car? I know it's a bit of a risk, the V10 engine. I've read so much about it, and I'm comfortable taking the risk. The car has had its rod bearings changed, so yeah, I mean, it's hopefully going to be okay. I know it is prone to other issues as well, but I think it's like any car. I mean, every car is open to some issue or another, especially if you're buying a used car, and even if you're buying a new car. New cars can have issues as well, but I think
we've had it checked out, we've had it looked at, seems to be okay. Hasn't got a lot of mileage on it. 88,000 miles is definitely an appeal. V10 engine, what is not to like on that? And it's the only V10 engine that BMW ever made, and yeah, I mean, it's not going to be repeated again. Nowadays it's all gone down the turbocharging route, so you know, what can be done about that? The one thing that I am a little bit nervous about is the gearbox. Now in the Ferrari we've got the dual clutch gearbox, which is fantastic, really good. I mean, blows your mind, really adds to the whole experience. And I'm a little bit worried about the single clutch gearbox. I've heard a lot of horror stories about, not horror stories in terms of things going wrong, but just people not liking it. And I think I'm going to be okay with it because I know what it is, I know what its limitations are, and yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I won't know until I drive it, and unfortunately I've bought it and haven't driven it. So if you want to know what it's like, then do subscribe. If you want to follow our journey on this car or any of the other cars that we have as well, do give us a subscribe, give us a like, and then that way you'll be notified of you know, what the next videos as they come up. Leave us a comment as to whether you would have bought this car. I suspect a lot of you will be saying to me you would have run a mile, and you definitely wouldn't have bought it without driving it and all that kind of stuff. But let me know your thoughts. I'd be curious to know how many of you are risk takers like me, and in pursuit of that dream of the drive, you know, whether you would have taken that risk as well. Anyhow, take care, and see you in the next episode.